Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Attacking My Steam Library, the series where... Oh, I need to go. Okay. Hello. I'm in a new place, but that's pretty much it. Nothing else is changing. You know, it's just a different location, but you know, everything's the same. So, you know, to get back into the groove of things, gonna be playing another game off my ever-growing Steam library, and today we'll be playing the Magic Circle. I got the Magic Circle in the 2016 April Humble Monthly Bundle, so it's been a considerable amount of time since then. The game itself appears to be a puzzler where you play the role of a character in an unfinished video game which has been left to rot by the developers, which is exciting for me because I've always wanted to play a game from the point of view of the main character and grab. Jokes aside, I've always been intrigued by this one. The idea of some meta commentary on game development with logic-based puzzles has always sounded interesting to me. I am skeptical that the game's story won't stay engaging enough over its entire playtime, but enough speculating on this all. The reviews sound promising enough, with one even describing how the developers were able to patch and fix a bug they encountered within less than an hour, which is kind of ironic given that the premise of this game is developers who don't fix their game. But anyways, it's all just icing on this metaphorical cake that I'm just dying to try already, so let's just jump into it. So, I just finished playing the Magic Circle for around 10 hours, I think, and it was pretty okay. I did have a lot more fun in this game than I was initially expecting. The story definitely met my expectations, where, like the premise described, you play as the main hero character in a game that's been stuck in development hell for over a decade. Initially, you watch an opening cinematic consisting of drawings on a whiteboard, genius, before walking through the game's first scene of a burning village. It's not a completed scene, as you quickly encounter the two developers of the game who argue about giving you a weapon before they decide to take it away from you. You progress through the rest of the short scene until you reach the end of the game. The end. We did it. Well, of course, that's not actually it. When you get sent back to the main screen, you meet another character, Pro, another character from the unfinished project. He opens up the option for you to continue playing the game, sends you back into the unfinished game world, and from there teaches you how to restore deleted objects back into the game and how to trap and edit other entities. And then the game opens completely up. It gives you your end goal of defeating one of the developers' avatars in the game, but other than that, it's completely up to you to explore the game's world and find a way to achieve that end goal. The main gameplay here comes from editing other entities and creatures to solve various puzzles. You can trap different creatures and edit their names, how they move, their abilities, method of attack, who their enemies and allies are, and if you can pick them up or not. I didn't find myself using the enemies and allies options too much, besides just making myself everybody's allies, but I had a great time screwing around with everything else. Honestly, I was a bit surprised that what drew me most into the game was the puzzle and gameplay mechanics instead of the story.
They were talking earlier, but I wasn't paying attention because I was too interested in giving my zombie husk minion a sword.
You can edit so many different objects in this game. Initially, I was overjoyed to find out I could make the mushrooms follow me around and attack for me.
This is the best. Oh my god, I love this. No way. Oh, this is the best. I like this game a lot.
But then before I knew it, I had an entire army of creatures following me everywhere I went.
Oh my god, it has eyes.
It did get a bit crowded with me having around 12 characters following me at any time, and it definitely isn't the ideal way to play, but the game does give you the ability to easily toggle between every ally you have near you, summon all your allies to you, or specific ones from the map if any get separated or left behind, and even direct everybody towards specific areas to attack enemies or just to get the hell out of your way.
Guys, get out. Okay, I'm banishing you guys over here. Go over there. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, perfect. Now I can see what I was trying to do.
Something else that did surprise me was the visuals. From the trailer, I wasn't sure I'd really enjoy the achromatic sketchbook look the game world had, but they managed to vary it up a bit with the space station sections. Plot-wise, these random sections spread over the game world are actually from a previous version of the game before the developers decided to scrap everything and start over from scratch. The retro 3D look definitely worked in my opinion, especially with many of the different enemies retaining their art style as you took them all over the place. Although, I will say, even though it was pleasant to find that second art style thrown into the mix, it still would have been nice to have a bit more variation in my opinion. I almost find it comparable to the puzzle game The Bridge. I really enjoyed that game and the art style looked great, but after hours of playing and looking at the same black and white pencil art style, personally, I kinda got sick of it. And that actually is a great way to summarize how I feel about this game as a whole. There were some parts I really liked and enjoyed seeing, and other parts that really didn't click with me. It was just so hit or miss. Oh, hi, hit or miss. I guess I never miss, huh? But that pretty much applies to everything in this game. For instance, I really enjoyed the gameplay and puzzle mechanics in this game, like I said earlier, but the puzzles themselves were never too difficult. I loved how there were sometimes multiple solutions to everything, but at the same time, those instances were far and few between while playing. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed exploring the world in this game and how much the game would reward you for venturing outside the beaten path, but like I said earlier, thanks to the art styles, I got a bit tired of looking at the same color palette and style while walking around, making some of the many areas look too similar despite the different landmarks the game throws in. I really enjoyed some aspects of the story, from hearing Pro talk about how it was almost hell for him to sit in this unfinished game for ages while the developers never got anything done, to hearing various audio clips detailing the lives and troubles the dev team face, to even the little documents and notes the dev team left for each other around the world. But at the same time, the characters would sometimes feel too exaggerated or overwritten to the point where they didn't feel as believable and it wasn't as easy to connect with them. That's really my dilemma here, you know? There was so much I really enjoyed and loved about this game, but also a lot that didn't really click with me. Like, there was a truly great game hiding inside a really flawed one. I suppose it really boils down to personal taste on whether I'd recommend this one or not. You know, if you enjoy unconventional puzzle and gameplay mechanics and the art style didn't bother you as much as it did for me, then you'll definitely enjoy this game, probably more so than I did. But on the other hand, if you also didn't like the art style and you don't really like the idea of editing creatures to solve puzzles, then you definitely won't like this one. As for me, well, in the end, like I said earlier, I thought it was overall okay. Maybe even good, but definitely not great. So I'm going to have to give this game I got a huge kick from the mechanics and world this game had to offer out of. The world looked a bit too samey as the game went on, and the puzzles were just fine. Alright, that one's finally off my list, and as for if I'm ever going back to it, you know, I actually got pretty close to 100%ing it, so I'm probably gonna hop back into it just to, you know, get the rest of the achievements, but anyways, thank you for watching. Feels good to finish a video in this new place I'm in. Well, I mean, feels good to, you know, get games off my Steam library played, just in general, but yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna go